Okay, it's starting. There we go.
Are
We
we
are live.
Hey,
Hello.
how are you?
I am doing great. How are you?
I am good. I am good. It's been, as we said, it's been a stressful week.
Right.
And I have to admit, I have a whole bunch of people. We're going to start off sad, but I have a whole bunch of people who were so kind that were sending me messages to ask me if I was okay, and asking me if, our vines were okay and our winery were okay. And it amazes me, it's so sweet, but we're 4 hours south, so we
Yeah.
are good. But thank you to everybody who sent me messages, sent me text messages, emails, Twitter, all that stuff to ask. We are safe. But I do also want to say that Mike and I, Dracaena Wines, we are joining alliances with Paso Wine Alliance. And for the month of October, any bottle that we sell, from one bottle to whatever it is, we're actually going to donate $4 of that sale to the Paso Wine Alliance, who will then send the money that is accumulated from, I think there's like 30 wineries in Paso that are joining in.
Great.
And so, California wine strong, we're one wine country. And so
It's
if you're
nice
thinking
how
of
everyone.
buying our wine, now's a good time. Get yourself the award-winning wine and help us help those in need. But on the good side, it seems like the fires are they're getting them under control.
Yeah.
People are back in Calistoga, people are allowed back in many parts of Napa and Sonoma. So thank you, first responders, and our hearts go out to everybody who has been affected by these fires.
Yeah, they do. It's devastating. It's heartbreaking. But the wine community, bonds together, and we help each other.
Yes.
Times of need.
I love the hashtag California Wine Strong. We do. It really is. And you know what? We're resilient. They will come back and they will be stronger and better
Yep.
than ever. I kind of think of this $1 million man. We can rebuild. We will.
Rebuild and you know what? Rebuild and replant.
Yes.
Like, things happen for a reason. Not to say that, this is devastating, but like my computer crashed this week, and I lost everything. It's data compared to what people I know lost.
Right.
But things happen for a reason. And I was telling you before, when I sat down this morning to start work, I wasn't as stressed on, oh my God, I got to do this, and blah, blah, and I got everything, if not more, done than I had planned to today. So,
it definitely does put things in perspective for you.
It does.
Definitely does. Well, are we ready for Winephabet Street?
We are. Let it roll.
Jump up, get down, come dance for down now. We're moving our body to the ABC. Dance nearby, dance far away, now clap your hands. To the letter of the day, clap, clap. What's the letter, clap, clap? What's the letter, clap, 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 clap? What's the letter? 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 The letter of the day is E.
All right, clap, clap. The letter of the day is E, and we are talking about Etna, because we could not find any grape varietals that we could get a bottle of that started with the letter E.
And I went into the store, and there was I had one choice.
Yeah. Yep.
That was it.
I only had one choice of Etna also. Although I must say I was very disappointed that we couldn't do Elvira, which is a grape varietal. I really did want to do Elvira because it was October, and I thought it would have been so awesome to have Elvira right before.
I think I'm going to have to find a long black wig for Elvira. Yes. And Elvira is a Native American grape.
Yes, it is. And I think it would have been cool to kind of talk about that grape varietal, but just nowhere can I find it. Nowhere. But so why don't you introduce yourself to our new people?
I am Debbie Giaquindo. I am the Hudson Valley Wine Goddess. I'm a wine writer, wine blogger, and I am also an author of Tapping the Hudson Valley, which is a book on day trips and weekend itineraries, visiting all the craft beverage producers and the sites along the way in the Hudson Valley. I think that's it.
I keep track of everything.
I know. I'm lucky I know where I am these days.
Right, right. Well, I am Lori, and I am a co-owner with my husband Michael of Dracaena Wines, and we produce award-winning Cabernet Franc out of Paso Robles. We are the founders of the nationally recognized holiday Cab Franc Day, and our newest release came out on October 1st, and we are excited about this vintage, but even more excited that in March we are going to be releasing our very first rosé, which will be a rosé of Syrah, also out of Paso Robles. And I think that's pretty much it that I'll talk about tonight for us. So, Etna, easy, hard for you to find information about?
No, actually, it was pretty interesting. I found on the whole evolution of what is now Mount Etna wines. It wasn't as hard as I thought, but it was interesting. I mean, I can't pronounce a lot of things, but
ding ding ding, yes.
But it was good, and I have to say, so is the wine. But
I know it. I think also compared to our letter of the day, D for Dolcetto, because that was a tough one to find information about. This had a lot more information out there about. So it was really an interesting read for me, I guess, where at Dolcetto, I was like, oh my God, I've got a paragraph here, and then this person is saying exactly the same thing, and this person is saying exactly the same thing. There was a lot more information out there for Etna. But yeah, so I'm going to start off with the general characteristics.
Okay, then I'll go into the history.
And then you do the history. Sound
Okay.
good?
Sounds good.
All right. So locally, Mount Etna is actually called Mongebello. Yes, I just like that word. I like it. And Mount Etna is Europe's largest and most active volcano, and it's frequently erupting. Like, people go there to see the eruption, and it's often got the large amounts of lava flows. But what I found interesting is, as much as it erupts and as much as the lava goes flowing, it really doesn't pose that big of a danger to the people who are living below, which I guess is why they live there, because if there was a lot of danger, I'm guessing they wouldn't be there. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And with this, it has actually become one of Italy's most hottest wine regions. Like, it is an up and coming wine region. I didn't even get that till you laughed. But bump, right?
Yeah.
Look at that. Anyway, the primary wine producing zone at the slopes of Mount Etna are huge. It elevates from like 2,000 to 6,500 feet above sea level, and it actually has the claim of being the highest commercial vineyards in the world. So I guess you get a nosebleed if you're up there at the 6,500, because that's pretty darn high.
Pretty thin oxygen up there.
Yeah, and and because they're so steep, that when they're harvesting, you're not getting mechanical harvesting up there, so these are people picking, so they've got to be exhausted from just trying, I'm envisioning them trying to, like this, trying to stay straight up on the slopes. but it does pose, some serious problems for the vintners. The steeply sloped terraces are very difficult to manage, so most has to be done by hand harvest, which I'm a fan of hand harvesting. I think
am
that
too. I think it's TLC involved, as far as the grapes and how they're handled and the quality. But that's my personal opinion.
And I think that when you mechanically harvest, like you said, there's more damage done to the fruit. So if your winery is right there, it's not really that big of a deal, because it's going from the vineyard right to the winery, and you're going to go into the processing of the fruit. But I don't think they're going from 6,500 square feet down to a winery on a rather quick basis. So, but with that being said, go back to what you said. I'm a fan of this wine. Woo! I'm happy with this wine.
Well, we'll get into that when we talk about the wines, but I was impressed.
Yes. So again, it's mostly hand harvested, which is very time consuming and actually rather expensive, which again goes back to, I was surprised at the price point of the wine, knowing how difficult it is to harvest these wines. Mount Etna's soil is rich with volcanic nutrients. So they're very, grapes love volcanic soil. There's a lot of nutrients in there. The environment or the climate is considered a hot Mediterranean climate. So it's a hot sun while the warm Mediterranean breezes are there. And so it's warm during the day, cooler at night with the breezes. So we get those nice, long hang times, that diurnal shift that we like so much for fruit. Again, there's actually a high diurnal shift, day temperature to night temperature. Not as much as Paso, but there is quite a bit of temperature change. And this really is beneficial to the grapes. What it does is allow the grapes to hang on the vine a little bit longer and gets them to ripen a little bit slower, which allows them to bring in more flavors without over ripening and without giving you, the bricks is a little bit slower to get up, and you get more complexity in these wines. So what else? Some of the vines, I thought was pretty cool, that some of the vines in Mount Etna are actually over 200 years old. Mm-hmm. And many of them are over 100 years old. So we're talking some old vines there. And the soil that is so, volcanic contains high concentrations of sand, and is a combination that all the nutrients that are in there, it's highly resistant to phylloxera. Yeah. So that's why they're 200 years old, is because when the whole phylloxera thing came in, the phylloxera didn't like that sand, didn't like that volcanic stuff, and didn't go there.
The vines in Etna were not affected when phylloxera went right through Europe.
Right. So it was really, it's amazing what the soil saved them.
Yeah, and then they were exporting, I believe, the wines to like England and Europe and stuff, because they were the only surviving ones.
Right. So if you are going to drink an Etna wine, basically you are looking at dry red and white blends. We don't see, in Etna, we don't see varietals, we see blends. And there's a few rosados, so there's a few rosés, but it's big time red is really what they're predominantly known for. By regulation, they must have a minimum of 80% Nerello Mascalize. How's that? Mascalize. Yeah. All right, so Nerello Mascalize, and it's a very little known grape varietal, and it's actually only produced in the Mount Etna region. So it is indigenous to the Mount Etna region, and it is only there. It's known for its deeply colored, thick-skinned variety. It is a variety that's thick-skinned, and it gives you some gritty tannins, but it's got a vibrant acidity. Okay, and that is going to be, like I said, 80% must be that grape varietal. The other grape that is in these red blends is Nerello Cappuccio, okay, which is spelt almost like cappuccino. I thought it was cappuccino.
Oh my dog, sorry. I'm the only one home. I made it 15 minutes into this.
That's all right. Nerello Cappuccio, and that must be at least 10%, but no more than 20% of the total wine. There we go. We got quiet dogs. Woo!
No, I locked them all out.
Oh, okay.
All right. I shoot them out of the room. 2 of them were in the room. 1 was in my bedroom. One barked. The other, they started chain command.
They all wake up then.
So.
Yeah. So the Nerello Cappuccio must comprise at least 10%, but no more than 20% of the total wine. And then they are actually allowed to use white grapes to make up the difference to get to that 100%. And the Nerello Cappuccio contributes spicy aromas, red berry flavors, and perhaps a touch, what they say, the elegance of the red. Now, I have a white, so I don't know.
I have a white too, so.
So the Etna Bianco, which is their white, the wines must be a minimum of 60% Caracante, which is, again, a very little-known grape varietal that is indigenous to the Mount Etna region. And 40% of the blend can consist of other authorized local wine varieties. And the other wine that pretty much is in the Bianco is Caracante. And so these are actually in the highest. Caracante is mostly in the highest zones of the Etna DOC. And they're known to be, Caracante is known to be lean, crisp, and acidic. And it does provide for more full-bodied and creamier wines than more fruit. So like you're getting the body, and then the fruit kind of sneaks up on you on the end. And when we get to the wines, I'll talk more about that.
I'm pretty excited about these wines because this is the first time I've had a Mount Etna wine.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah, I was like, wow. But we'll get into that. See, we're so excited about our wine.
Right. And now I totally forgot. We're going to do, I just want to go through general characteristics. Start.
There
Next. Okay, so what I'm showing now is actually Mount Etna, and this is the view of the village of San Teodoro, and that is just magnificent to me.
That is beautiful.
I would never want to leave if I was looking at that. And this picture, and the reason why I picked this picture was because I thought it showed why it's not really a danger to the people. You know, they've actually, it looks like their communities are far enough away that it's not an outright danger to them. But I kind of think it'd be cool to be there when it, when it erupted. But
I think it would be really cool, but it would be like, okay, how long do we have to get off the island or out of harm's way?
Right, right. But it's, I mean, like, look at that.
That is cool.
Like, that is the lava flowing down. And I mean, there's other pictures all over the web of people who are there and they are, like hiking it so that they're close enough to the lava. I mean,
right.
I'm pretty brave. I don't know if I do that, but that's pretty cool. And I mean, honestly, that's so dangerous, but it's beautiful in its own. It
is kind of cool. I did that in Hawaii.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
And then this picture is what the soils look like and how the vines are.
So I don't know what the word is for, up the mountain.
Wait, what do you mean?
Look how they're planted up the mountain.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But
Yeah.
that's like, how do you even get to those vines?
Trellis, but I don't think that's the right word for it.
I don't know. But I don't know how you get to the vines. Like, look at that. That's like, you got to go hiking through sand and, ash basically to do that. But I thought that was a pretty cool picture also. So that is my general characteristics of Mount Etna wines.
Well, that was great. Now let me see if I can get into. I don't really have a nice PowerPoint for the history. I just have a nice picture of Mount Etna.
It is beautiful.
Yeah, it was, I was like, I didn't want to sit and, do points, and there was really no, stuff. So I found this picture of Mount Etna.
Oh, that's pretty too.
Yeah. So,
when you can kind of see the terraces in the
background or in the forward there part. So, Mount Etna, DOC, it's situated, okay, so you have Sicily, and it's situated on the northeast and south slopes of the Etna volcano. And Mount Etna is a province of Catania that has been farmed since ancient times. And the Greeks have their hands in everything. And I can say that because my mother-in-law is Greek.
There you go.
Right off the boat. But the Greeks conquered the region in 729 BC, and they planted vineyards and made wine. So the history of the wine region really goes far, far back. And poet Theocritus wrote about the vineyards on the slopes of Mount Etna in the 3rd century BC. So in the 20th century, fast forward, the wars and poverty kept a lot of people away from investing in Mount Etna. And even though, and I can get rid of the PowerPoint so you can see me. So even people don't want to stare at a PowerPoint while I sit here and talk. So even though mainland Italy was thriving and having a renaissance, in the 70s, Mount Etna, it was very depressed. And they did receive DOC status in 1968, but it really wasn't producing much wines. And 30 years ago, there were only 5 producers in the Mount Etna region.
5?
And 5.
Wow.
They really owe a lot of the resurgence to a guy named Giuseppe Bentani. And he began producing it. Oh, let me back up. A lot of people also stayed away because, as you said, everything erupted when the volcano erupted. It did devastate, a lot of people's, lives and vineyards, and so people just didn't come back. They had left.
Oh, okay.
So that's why in the 70s, that was in my previous notes for this that got wiped out on the hard drive. But so and people have just started, we're just starting to come back. But this guy Giuseppe Bentani had started producing wines in the 90s, early 90s, and then he started buying up land and planting, and it's from him that the resurgence started to come into the Etna region. So Etna's primary wine producing zones, they rise up to about 3,500 feet and higher. And like you said, it's the highest commercial vineyards in the world, which is kind of neat because usually Chile, I always hear they say how high their vineyards are. But Mount Etna's got them beat.
So I was listening to a podcast while I was walking around the park yesterday, and I wouldn't say what podcast, I wouldn't say anything, but they were talking about Chilean wines and how it's the highest elevation.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ah.
They need to come to Winephabet Street.
Yes, they need to learn on Winephabet Street.
That's right.
It's very high, but
Not high enough.
Etna's got, yeah.
Not high enough. So the volcanic nutrients, once again, it's great for growing grapes. And they benefit from the hot sun and the warm breezes, and it extends the growing season. And there's considerable variation between the day and the nighttime temperatures at these high elevations, which really works well with the grapes. So it not only facilitates the berry growth, but promotes complexity in the grape juice flavors, which gives you a wine with complexity. We talked a little, you touched on the soil, which is the concentration of sand, and that's why Phylloxera didn't decimate their vineyards in the 1800s, and also happened again, I think, in another time as well. But a lot of the grapevines are over a century years old. Some 200 years. And the 200-year ones are kind of like gnarly and fragile, but they produce some amazing wine. They're kind of like the bushes with you ever see them? I've seen them in California, where they're bushes, they're not sometimes vines, and they get all snarly and scraggly.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm not going to retouch on some of the stuff that you touched on with the blends and everything, because I had those too. And that's pretty much it. As far as the history, I mean, it is what it is today. I know there's some families, I was reading about this one woman, her family was from Etna, and they had left because it was, so poor and poverty, and she actually came back and started to farm the land that her family once farmed, and it's
Wow.
growing grapes. Yeah, so it's really, people, and there's a lot of people from the mainland, like in Tuscany and Chianti and those and Barolo that are starting to purchase property down there. Oh, and one thing I thought was interesting, the reds, they say, are like some of them are like a fine Barolo.
Oh.
Yeah, in some of my reading. But the reds are drink now reds. They're not ones to sell them, but some of them, the finesse and everything are like a nice Barolo.
Oh.
But since either one of us got reds, we don't know.
Yeah. Maybe I'll have to head back to the store and pick up the one red.
Yeah,
so when we decided to do Etna, I thought there'd be more choice, but I only had one red or one white to choose from.
I didn't have a choice.
I got a little lucky, I guess. But and we did pick two different ones, so that is good.
That's pretty good.
That is pretty good. Which brings me to, here is my wine. Okay, so this is a Murgo Etna Bianco. Okay, and it is, here's the little picture of the back to show you the little Sicily and stuff. And it is actually 12.5% alcohol, which in my world is deadly, because that means I can drink this whole bottle.
Yeah, I don't know what. Mine's 13%.
So, and I actually don't know what the regulation is if you are out of the country, like the 1%, we can have a 1% variation.
Right.
If you're over 14.5%, if you're under. So I don't know if that's the same here. But so Murgo, what you got there? Let's see yours. Did I miss yours?
I have a Ferriato. Oops.
Let's see if it.
2016.
Okay. All right.
And my back isn't as nice as yours. My back is little in English.
Does it tell a little story?
I don't know. It says just about the Mt Etna wines.
Oh, mine is
bush vines tend to the purest classical Greek tradition. They're just some of the reasons why Caranti and Cataranto can produce such a bright white wine so far south.
So mine is actually the importer's label. So this is the label. I don't know if it's on top of another label, but this is an importer label. This is all from the importer.
Yeah, no, mine's not.
But
and I have to tell you, when I was researching this wine, I was really impressed with their website.
Were you?
I really was.
That's a first one for a long time since we've been out of the country drinking wine. I found quite a bit on them, but they had, I guess their website was nice. It had quite a bit of information about them. Do you want to go first, or you want me to go first about the winery?
Oh, I can go.
Okay, go ahead.
Whatever you want.
Okay.
Okay, so actually,
that just means I can drink right now.
So this winery is actually owned by a family. It is owned by, there he is, by Salvatore Di Gaetano. And he's a businessman who's following his dreams of owning, obviously, a winery in his homeland. And his daughter runs it with him, and his wife, and the daughter's husband. So their original vineyards, they have, I think it's like 4 or 5 vineyards all throughout Sicily. So they have other holdings in other places. And they have a video, and they take the grapes by boat to another place. It was kind of cool. So like I said,
I'm going to have to check out their website, because I think maybe a Pursue Your Passion guest blog post might be.
Maybe. I'll put the link up when I'm done.
Okay.
I gotta go find the website. But so the original vineyards are in the countryside of Trapani, and then they started investing. That's the one part of Sicily, and then they started investing in Etna and the Aegean Islands. So they manage 6 vineyards in all, and they're certified organic. And the process of converting the company's vineyards back to organic production was completed in 2012, and the company was and they were awarded a BioAgri certificate of conformity to the European Regulation 834/07/CE concerning the production of organic agriculture, and then they were given the DNV with certification concerning vegan production.
Oh, okay.
So they're pretty high tech. In 2004, they received an ISO 14001 certification, which guarantees that most of the packing materials used are recyclables, from the glass bottles to the paper for the labels to the cardboard boxes and everything. There's like no waste. So I was really impressed with
them.
Yes. So the name I probably am not even pronouncing this correctly. Ferriato takes its origins from the rural material culture of Western Sicily, where the term was used to indicate the area close to the main house.
Oh.
So it's well-defined and protected area where the most valuable crops are planted. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And it's an Italian term meaning enclosed, which relates to close, CLOS, which is referenced in French estates.
Yes.
So a lot of history just in this wine. So Etna challenged the family to engage with mountain viticulture, because that was, new to them, and to understand the unique qualities and to discover, the qualities in relation to the terroir, the volcanic soils. So it was, and they produced some pretty good wine. I mean, I'm pretty impressed with this. Very impressed with this.
Do you know what the blend is?
Yes, I can tell you what the blend is in a second. Let me just pull that up. I think it is, hold on. I have it somewhere. I do. I'm just so disorganized because of that computer crash that I had. That I cannot find the right sheet that I had it on. I had the text sheet. I must have closed it.
Oh, that's all right. I'm sure it's Caracante and
It is
Catarata.
a blend of both. It is a blend of both.
Just those two, right?
Yes, just
Yeah.
those.
Yeah. That seems to be the going thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, mine is also a blend. Mine is actually 70% Caracante and 30% Catarato. It was fermented and aged in stainless steel. That's what gives it its crisp acidity, which I'm all about. Bring on the acidity.
Yeah.
I'm a happy camper. When I talk about wine, I talk about, what we're doing with us, with our rosé and stuff. I'm like, I'm an acid head. I am making.
I am too.
So, this has a nice crisp acidity with this freshness. But it's kind of intriguing to me because it's got the acidity that I like, but it's got a bigger mouthfeel than what I'm used to having when I have such an acidic wine. Usually, you think of a crisp Sauvignon Blanc, a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, where it's crisp, and then, there's just, and not in a bad way because I like it, it's light on your tongue. This is crisp, but it actually has a mouthfeel. It actually coats your tongue. And I think that's the complexity. I think that's the terroir that's bringing it that way. 4,000 cases of this was made. So I think they're a rather high producer. I did not know this when I purchased it because, like I said, it was my only white choice, but it actually did receive a 90 in Wine Spectator. This vintage received a 90 in Wine Spectator.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yeah. So they feel, although it's regulated, so whatever, they feel the higher acidity, the Caracante grapes balances the Catarato grapes, which provides the complexity. And it is what it is, but I think it is a rather complex wine. And
yeah, mine is too.
Yeah, I paid $14.99 for mine, and it's currently on sale for $11.99. So
I have to go back and buy more.
When I was looking up the winery, you do Wine Searcher and you could see the prices across the board, and
right.
It ranges from $11.99 to $17.99. So I did not pay the highest amount for it, but it is now on sale. So I kind of, that pizza commercial, you did not get a good pizza deal, rip the number one dad off.
Yeah, mine was closer to $20.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, I got mine in North Jersey, actually.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Well, we're expensive here, So,
but I'm loving the acid, but it's not too acidy, where you wake up with that acid mouth in the morning.
Right, it's not sucking on a lemon.
No. And the lime, I really like the lime and the minerality of it.
Yes, I have a lot of minerality also. But I want to just go back because this guy, I should probably give him more respect, but this guy, he's like some big wig, like in Italy, and I was kind of impressed with his dossier or resume. Yes. So I'm going to read this because I can't pronounce 3/4 of the things that it is. So if I'm not looking at it, I'm going to get it wrong. But this is directly from their website. Okay. The Baron.
Woohoo!
Okay. The Baron Emanuele Scamacca. Okay. Del Murgo. So Emanuele Scamacca del Murgo had a long career as a diplomatic and having been Italian ambassador in important embassies as the Holy See, Brussels, Moscow, and Assistant Secretary of the Estate at Foreign Affairs. I don't know what all that means, but sounds pretty impressive to me. Okay. So the Murgo family has been producing wines from the southeastern slopes of Mount Etna since 1980. So they've been around for a while. But the Murgo estate was actually founded in 1850. And the current, which confused me, the current Baron Emanuele Scamacca del Murgo, I don't know what that means, the current. I mean, I know it means he's the guy who's alive now.
It sounds like almost like something out of a movie that you watch. Yeah, as they say all that.
Yeah, like
you're waiting for the 10th or the 3rd or the 4th.
Well, I was thinking of like Game of Thrones when they go through Daenerys's Queen of the this and Mother of Dragon and Freer of the Slaves and blah blah blah.
I don't watch it.
Oh, you're missing out. But that's a whole other story. So the current Baron Emanuele Scamacca del Murgo was the patriarch responsible for bringing the estate into the modern age. He had sons, Michel, which I'm guessing is Michael, Pietro, Peter, and Matteo, Matt. Handcrafts mesmerizing Bianco, and they are considered one of the finest winemakers in the appellation.
Wow.
Right? So pretty snazzy stuff here.
You got a lot of big words there.
I know.
You're a good copywriter.
And then this is directly from their site. So it's obviously an Italian who's writing it. So the grammar is not quite there. But highly impressive resume, right? Not that I know what any of it means, but highly impressive. So, and I thought this was funny. Following destalking.
Okay.
So we call it harvesting.
Okay.
They are destalking. The fruit is macerated in a climate-controlled stainless steel vat for 15 hours. So 15 hours. The wine is gently pressed and undergoes static decantation for 1 to 2 days. So that's our maceration and cold, cold fermentation. And they ferment till completely dry. And then the wine is blended and aged for a minimum of 5 months in stainless steel. And then they allow it to age for 2 months in bottle. So to get rid of bottle shock is 2 months before they release. Their vineyard is 500 meters above sea level. So that's pretty low on the Etna.
Yeah.
And it's found on the eastern slopes below, and I don't know what this is, Zaffarana Etnia. But it's a panoramic view. That's what they say.
Sounds pretty.
Okay. And then they have their own main access to their street, to their winery. And they have their own access to their own craters.
Wow, now that would be cool to see.
Right? Right? Cool. I'm like, yeah, I want to go there. So they actually do accept visitors, which is interesting because I'm not sure how many wineries there actually accept visitors. But they do accept visitors. They have about 24, I don't know, because I didn't understand what this was. It said 24,5 hectares. I think it's 24.5. Yeah.
I say 24.5.
I think they put a comma instead of a decimal point. So 24 acres, and they are part of the DOC. But yeah, so some big wig governmental guy is what I'm guessing. Started this winery, and again, he decided he wanted to pursue his passion You know, get out of politics and
Right.
make wine.
There you go. I did find my spec sheet here.
Oh, okay.
But it really doesn't tell me that much. Their grapes are from the northeastern side of the volcano, 720 meters above sea level.
Okay. So not far from Murgo here.
Yeah. They do a soft pressing and fermentation in controlled temperature, 3 months early on the lees in stainless steel tanks with daily shaking, and it matures in the bottle for 2 months. The vintage production is around 25,000 bottles. So that's, let's see, 25.
Oh my goodness. I've got a little league guy here.
25,000 divided by 12 is 2,000 cases.
Oh, I thought, never mind. I've got a big
25,000 bottles.
Oh, okay. This is 4,000. Oh, you know what? No, this is 4,000 cases.
Okay. So mine's 2,000 cases.
Okay.
So yeah, it gets confused. A lot of times when I find, when I was in France and I asked how much they produced, they told me bottles.
Like, who's counting? Who's counting?
So, oh no, you know what I lost?
No, what?
All my audio from France. I just realized it.
Oh.
Every single audio. I taped everything, all the winemakers I visited, because I don't take notes because I can never read them.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry.
I just
Get Paul to work. Get Paul to work. Maybe he can figure it out.
No, the drive's in the trash. Anyway, sorry to sidetrack. It just all of a sudden hit me. I'm thinking because I don't really know what I lost, and that's
right.
what I lost. And I haven't even blogged about it yet. So
what are you getting in this? Here's mine in glass.
Here's my glass.
Okay,
mine's a little darker.
Yeah, yours is a little. I think I just have a floodlight on over it though.
Okay. So maybe I can hear.
Yeah. So what are you getting?
So I get white flowers on the nose.
I get
lime. I get like hints of like fresh lime.
Lime. I get lime. I get a little honeysuckle. I'm getting if I was blindfolded, I would go Sauvignon Blanc.
Would you?
I would. Not often. I mean, the taste is just more full palate, but like it's so refreshing. Like
there is an aroma that I can't identify, but it reminds me of a smell of my childhood when I lived in New Rochelle, like out playing, like white flowers. It was some type of flower.
Right. I don't know. There's a little honey in mine. Little honey, definitely lime, but I like it. I'm just good, whatever. I am a fan.
I really like it. Like when I was making dinner tonight, I have a plethora of hot peppers.
I saw.
So I don't know what to do with them. So I made
You're bringing them on Friday. That's what you're doing.
I made jalapeno popper mac and cheese. And I'm like, there is no way this wine's going to go with it. But it did.
Did it really?
The chilies weren't that hot. And I was really surprised. So maybe there is a little bit of honey in here because with that, but the jalapenos weren't that hot, but I was impressed. I was like, wow. I mean, and I can get to the food pairings, it's Italy, you deal with pasta.
Right.
But, but mostly it's like pasta with fish and things like that. But it paired well with the jalapeno popper mac and cheese.
Which it is a great intro. So why don't you do the food?
So, sure. So, let's see here. So the food pairing. So, like I said, like fish. Mount Etna, they like their fish. Because they're coastal, they're on the water, and I do have a PowerPoint to go with this. But the fish is like mackerel, sardine. Yeah.
Yes, that is.
It's the only fish I eat, but that's okay. You know.
No, 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 no,
But
no.
to each their own. People
What they
that.
grow up with, I would not, because fish
I don't knock
literally
it at
makes me
all.
nauseous. When we were in Venice, I was not a happy camper. But yes, but you know what? If you grow up with it, that's what you like. That's what you know.
And if that's what you like, but so there's like Italian, you're going to get your tomatoes, your peppers, your eggplants, cheeses made with sheep's and cow milk. Like so the majority of the protein is oily fish like sardines and mackerel.
Right.
They do obviously chicken, beef, and pork too. So some of the dishes that I put up, let's see. This is pasta, and
That's a
my niece
pesto.
that I lost had the dish in it, and I couldn't find where I found the dish. So,
Oh,
one
you
of
know what? I bet you pesto would go well.
yeah. Oh no, what did I do with?
No, you might need a little kick. I'm not, now that I'm like thinking about it, I think a little kick. This can stand up to it because it's got enough body.
Yeah, it really did. I was really surprised. I was like, I wasn't sure, but maybe it's the body. And like I said, these jalapenos were not hot.
Right.
So another thing I was reading was fried tuna croquets made with ricotta, pine nuts, potato, lemon, breadcrumbs, capers, and mint. What I found too was ricotta cheese was in lots of stuff.
I wonder oh, that looks pretty. That's eggplant. I don't eat that either.
You don't eat that either?
No. No. Mike has such difficulty with preparing meals for me. No, I don't like eggplant.
Okay.
But that's pretty.
Yeah, very nice. I had when my daughter was young, she got hives from eggplant she was at my in-laws and came home, and then as years go by I couldn't remember who was allergic to eggplant, and then she went out and had eggplant and got hives. I said, you're the child allergic to eggplant.
I can see eggplant. Oh, look at that.
This is a baked pasta with like egg and cheese and peas. It's got a name. It's called
all right, I'm
gonna in casita. It contains a meat sauce, cheese, sausage, hard-boiled eggs, eggplant or peas, and it's baked. Actually, it looks pretty good. I would like that.
It does look good, except for the fact that it's circular pasta, which makes me think Chef Boyardee.
Some of it's not. That just happens to be the pasta I think I did, but it's different types of pasta.
That looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, and these are rice balls.
Yummy.
In the rice balls, there's anything from meat to mozzarella to peas. They're big on peas.
Peas. I'll take all the peas. So whenever I order, we have a favorite restaurant here, and we go in, and my order is penne and vodka sauce, and they have peas in their penne and vodka sauce. So when I place the order, I'm always like, all right, give me the penne and vodka sauce with extra peas. And they're always like, all right, well, nobody else wants the peas, so you can have them all for the night. And I'm like, woohoo! And then,
I grew peas this year.
Did you?
I did. They were really good. Fresh peas, you peel them from the pod and just pop them in your mouth.
Oh, yummy, yum, yum.
They're awesome. So here's the fish dish. I think this is a mackerel.
All right.
And here's seafood. They do octopus, and I believe that this is like some type of farro, grain, and mussels and clams. More pasta with basil, tomatoes, and my favorite.
There you go. Cannoli, baby.
Gotta end well,
Oh my God, you know what? Absolutely. Oh my God. That would, this would be phenomenal with cannoli.
Yes. I can taste that cannoli, man. I want that.
So can I. So can I.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that's pretty much, they also have like in Sicily, which isn't, it's the island in general. They have like a whole thing on Sicily street food, which was really kind of cool, which I found really interesting. But, it wasn't specific to the Mount Etna region. So
right.
I didn't want
to. Oh, cannoli. Oh my God. I can go for cannoli right now.
I could too, man. Doesn't that look good?
It really does. It really does.
Oh, I could taste it.
Yeah. I might have to go to Sorrento's Bakery later in Lodi and get me some cannoli. All right.
This is going down. I find this very easy drinking.
Yes. And that's why I said it's 12.5% alcohol. So it's it's a troublemaker because.
Yeah, mine's 13.
You can.
But mine's halfway done now.
Yeah, so is mine. So is mine. But whatever, it's Monday. It's Winephabet Street.
That's right. It's Winephabet Street.
It's all in the need for education,
That's right.
Slancha,
But it's really, I love being introduced to new wines.
Yes.
And this is just like, I almost texted you when I opened it and had a sip and said, oh my God, this is fantastic. But I'm like, no, it's got to wait till Winephabet Street.
Yeah, already popped the cork.
So blown away.
Yeah.
I really was.
I was shocked. I mean, I didn't really know what to expect. So I was pleasantly surprised. I really had no clue what to expect. And I purchased the bottle actually when I bought the Dolcetto.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided we couldn't come up with the Elvira or that other grape, that Elfernishita, whatever, I can't pronounce. I just got the Etna also. So I've had it for a while, but I procrastinated and didn't look up what it had until this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So when I popped it this afternoon, I was like, yeah, this is good. This might be another bottle. And now that I know it's on sale, there's probably
definitely go down.
Yeah.
I'll have to stop next time I'm traveling in North Jersey.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So I have the 5 quick facts that we always end our episodes with. So I have 5 fast facts of the wine region. And our first fact is the size of the vineyards. So the vineyard surface is about 3,100+ hectares, which comes out to be about 7,800 acres. And then there is an actual DOC region, which is obviously going to be much smaller. So the DOC is about 656 hectares, which is about 1,600 acres. And their annual production is 78,500 hectoliters, which is 2 million+ gallons. And it's 60 gallons in a barrel, but that was way too much math for me to do. There wasn't room on the slide for it. So divide that by 60 and you're going to get how many barrels you got. Okay. And then there's about 50 cases in a barrel. So that is a lot of math, but take that number, 60 gallons per barrel, and then 50 cases per barrel. I'm sorry, 25 cases per barrel. Etna Wine Region fact number 2. We have 6 DOCs, and some of the DOCs have specific regulations. So we have the Etna Rosso, which is a minimum of the Nerello Mascalese and a maximum of 20% Cappuccio. Etna Rosso Reserva, which I believe has the same regulations of what the grape varieties are, but now you have to have 4 years aged and at least 1 year in wood. So I was like blown away by that. Like
Wow.
4 years, that's for, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. But it doesn't need to be 4 years in wood. It just needs to be aged 4 years.
Right, which I kind of think is interesting. So are they taking it in 1 year in wood, putting it in a bottle, and then holding it for 4 years? Like, what is it aging
I
in?
don't know.
So, I thought that was a little kind of interesting. Etna Bianco needs to be, as we said, minimum 60% Caracante. In order to be a superior, it needs to be 80% Caracante, and it must be from I don't know if it's Milo or Milo. And then you have the Etna Rosato and Etna Spumante. And all I saw, I'm not going to lie, I saw Etna Spumante, and I'm like, ooh, saber possibility.
You're going to be savoring Friday night.
Woo! Yeah, I'm going to have to pack my little glove.
Okay.
Okay, so wine fact number 3. The soil is volcanic and is very rich in minerals. It is formed from the disintegration of the lava, and there's lots of different ages and eruption materials in there. So you got lava, ash, and sand, and these all come together to create a very nutrient-rich soil that includes iron, copper, phosphorus, and magnesium. So very, very happy vines in there. Wine fact number 4, Etna wines are mostly blends, and I'm not going to read that again because we've gone over it 3 times now, but you are expecting you are expecting dry red and dry white wines. And number 5, there's my volcanic eruption here. The region was the first to be granted in DOC status in Sicily in 1968. You had mentioned that. And it is located near Mount Etna, which is still the active volcano. And the vineyards are mostly on its northern Rendazzo and southern slopes, which is Santa Maria de Locodia. I don't know how to say that. But that is the Etna wine region's Fast 5 facts.
Very nice.
So there we have it. So I'm
telling you, hats off to Etna. Etna.
I concur.
No?
I wish I could have a chance to find other Etna wines and see if if we got lucky with these, or
I'd like to try a red next and see with the indigenous red varieties and see what they're like. Because like I said, I'm impressed with this. I would buy it again. I would, and I think it's not even, it's an all year round. It has some wine, some white. You think immediately of just summer. Right. This is all year round white.
Yes, and I think that goes to the full bodiness of it.
Yeah. Because it's definitely something you can drink on a hot summer's day, and it's something you can drink and by your fireplace in the wintertime.
Right, absolutely.
Absolutely. And I think it goes with a variety of foods.
I agree. And there's going to be another glass being filled soon.
Yeah, mine too.
So
we talk about next month. Gotcha. F is for
ferment. I don't know really how to say it.
Ferment. F-U-R-M-E-N-T. It's the Hungarian grape, grown obviously in Hungary. And I was telling Lori this before when we were chatting. Hungarian wine holds into my heart because my family's from Hungary, my grandfather, and we own vineyards in the Tapicola region of Hungary. And there's a whole Lessner house, a whole Lessner coat of arms. Lessner's my maiden name. And there's a Lessner wine cellar that my great-great-great-grandmother was the one that held the keys to it. And it's really cool. I'm not sure if they grew ferment. It's not in the regions that they talk about today. But our vineyards were confiscated in World War II.
Oh.
So but there's stuff that still exists, and hopefully we'll get to Hungary. I'm thinking of next year. I might go. There's a wine conference out there in Hungary, the international something, I can't remember.
Oh my God. Let me know. Let me know if I'm out of school. Let me know.
It's April. It's in April.
Well, maybe spring break.
Oh, it's the beginning of April. I'll let you know.
I don't know next year's calendar.
So anyway, but that's totally off,
Yes,
but
totally off topic, but that's okay.
We came around and we were throwing out different wines. I'm like, can we do ferment? Because I just been so intrigued with it, and I wish I was able to go on the 30th. I was invited to a tasting of Hungarian wines at the Hungarian Embassy in New York, but unfortunately my doggie's having a little operation that day, so there's no one else to take her because I'm the only one here. So I can't
California. I would love to go to that too.
Oh, it was great. It was I went last year. I think it was last year, maybe it was the year before. All the years run together as the older I get. And it was just so, I kind of felt like so honored. And I think it's because of my heritage. And I was just like, it was just a really nice experience. But unfortunately, I can't make it. And being that our wine is ferment, it would have been perfect for us.
Yes.
But unfortunately, doggy
Life
comes
on. Life.
So tune in. Oh, it's going to be November 20th. And I do have the link.
All right.
So
November 20th, that's the third Thursday. Third Thursday. Third Monday.
This month. November 20th. F is for ferment.
Right before my birthday.
When's your birthday?
The 28th.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's Thanksgiving. That's a Monday, so no, it's not. I was born on Thanksgiving. I was a turkey baby. But yeah. All right. So the link is
register for next month.
Yep.
The registration link is up.
And I see Feriato's website, so that is awesome. And I would like to give a shout out to Gary's Wine here in Wayne, New Jersey, for helping me pick this. I always know that I can go in there and find what I need, and if I can't find it, they're pretty darn good at finding it for me. So I would like to thank them for helping me out in this.
It's gonna. I will tell where I got my wine in North Jersey. It's Stu Leonard's on 17.
Oh, you're right by me.
Was I?
Yes. All right. Whatever.
Travels. I was like, I'm gonna stop and see, and they had one, and because usually I get my wine from a friend of mine in Fishkill, but she didn't have any, so I was like, and down here in Cape May, slim pickings. Couldn't even get a Beaujolais, so surely wasn't going to find something from Mount Etna.
Right. Well, we are wrapping up our A, B, C, D, E, fifth.
Woohoo!
Now I need, what is it? Who was Count Chalk? No, it's not Count. What is his name? It's not Count Chocula.
No, the Count.
The Count. The Count. There you go. Okay. I need him, A, B, C, D, E. Okay. So we are wrapping up the 5th episode of Winephabet Street. I can't believe this has been going on for 5 months.
But I know. I enjoy it. This is great.
I do too. And I hope that people who are tuning in and listening to the podcast later on, or watching our YouTube channels, or watching us live, are enjoying it and are learning something in a very relaxed, chilled atmosphere.
And I hope you're all having a glass of wine, whether it's from the letter that we're doing or a letter of our past.
There you go. But if you'd like to join us with a glass, remember it's ferment, and it is November 20th. 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
We'll see you then. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for joining. Slancha.